right, guys, here we are to talk about episode 2 from season 1 of Lemony Snicket, a series of unfortunate events.
Ha ha!
What did you think about this episode?
I think this was better than the first one,
Okay.
but, still definitely seems to be geared towards, like, a younger, but in, like, a weird, inconsistent way, too.
Yeah, it's an interesting show.
Interesting.
I do find, and, like, I want to say this as nicely as possible.
Yeah.
I find it a horrible chore to watch this show.
I hate, okay.
But I don't like hate it, because certain parts of it I do find redeeming with a little bit of a payoff. But they're few and far between.
Yep.
And if we were not doing this like as a thing,
Yep.
I totally would have already stopped.
And I agree with that, and I thought of how I was going to phrase that, because, like, there are shows that are slow or, like, not geared towards me or whatever, and it's hard to explain why you want to watch something or not, and what I arrived at is, like, the value proposition is, like, not sufficient or something like that. Like, it's 40 minutes of time.
Yes. Or more.
It's not all, yeah, exactly. But, like, it's not all bad. There's some things that aren't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of that, maybe an hour, I'm like, I should have spent that hour doing something else. I should have watched something else.
I came to like an epiphany on this during this episode.
I did too.
And I was like, I think this is what you would get if the Mighty Boosh was run by a really corporate like business, where like they're like, no, we're gonna give you money, we're gonna give you famous people, we're gonna give you wonderful sets and like all this cool stuff, you're gonna have props and this and that, and it ruins it because there's so much shit, I think, along the way.
Interesting.
And I could be totally off base here, but like, 'cause certain jokes play out almost Booshy to me.
Yeah.
But the Boosh, which had no money, aired at like 2 in the morning, was amazing, and this is not.
Bushy jokes. Can you think of any? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Like anything the guy with the hands does, or like occasionally the things where NPH will say something and then like the thing I meant the opposite thing, like just different ways it plays out.
I think it's like the like delivery or the performances too. It's something to do with like
there's something, because
stuff's
these
not
are all
clicking
A-level
or
actors that are in this movie or show rather that has like movie caliber production.
Right.
And it's
Why
just
is
it's
it not-
not like you have.
why does
It's
it
like
not
you had the
click?
recipe to make something good, but you spilled like poison in it or something.
I know because there were some parts that my epiphany before I forget is that I hate the kids.
I don't like love the kids. Like,
because this episode opens with like finish if you want to finish.
No, I don't
thought.
hate them.
Yeah,
it's just that they don't really bring anything to the table. I'm like, okay, that kid's smart. This kid's inventing shit. All right, whatever. The baby's like a cartoon character. The adults are what are the driving force of the humor in this show. But they're being stifled, I think, because it's a kiddie show.
I know.
Yeah.
So this episode starts, and like we didn't talk about the intro, I think, last time, where I think it's MPH singing this like "Look Away" song, and it's all these push pins and yarn type shit or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like the intro or like whatever. Then the first scene here is like Lemony Snicket recapping everything, right? And I was like, why is he recapping everything? We just watched the first episode. He's recapping things that just happened, but stuff's like funny in a way. And that and the the dude Poe, I loved the whole sequence where like, why is the button to like buzz his secretary just a little too far away? He has to like do this contortion to like press it, and he keeps coughing and this fucking thing.
Why does he say the same thing each time?
I know, and the office is so impossible with the glass and like all this like safety deposit boxes. His office is like in the vault or something like that.
Yeah.
I really liked that. It was very like Tim Burton-y and like weird and like I like this or whatever. And to like skip ahead, like him with like walking down the street and like bumping people and taking their stuff to make the costume, and then his like dumb shit thing. But then the secretary ending up tied to a tree, and she still has the tree throughout all these different scenes. I was like, this is awesome, or like whatever.
That's those elements, those Bushy elements that I'm like,
Yes.
no, there's stuff here that could be really funny, but it's not like they're not playing it up enough. It's just on the outskirts enough to make me watch it and go, well, that's really odd or weird, or why would they do that? And there's so many of them, so none of them are like an accident. That's what's weird about it.
Humor is so hard, and it's so hard to understand why it's like not working or something like that.
But I feel like if I were 5, I'd be like, a tree! Oh, he said the same thing 5 times? But as an adult, I'm like, come on, jerk.
I think as a kid I might be bored and I might feel like this is dark or
It's
slow.
very colorful. I think
it is very
I
colorful.
think that would suck you in. Like, I think this is for an age of children. Because picture all the word lessons, right?
Yeah.
Picture if you did not know what those words were, what age you were. Like
Right.
you're like 5, going like,
And you
color.
and you had to,
He's
like-
funny. Ha ha ha.
Right.
That guy's got hooks for hands. Ha
And,
ha.
like,
The baby chewed a rock.
and like music and falling and
Yeah.
bumping stuff. I guess, but then there's all this darkness where he's like touching her face and saying, "You'll be my bride," and all this stuff. Like
That's for the adult that's forced to
slapping the
watch
other
it with
kid.
you.
No, it's just creepy. It's just like that would like. I feel like this would be like weird if I was actually like a child.
I don't know. We gotta watch a kid watch this show.
We need to
and see what
kidnap a kid and
happens.
force them to watch
We
this.
can tie him
and,
to a tree.
and take their reactions and write them down in a composition notebook. I can graph the the data. It'll be great.
No, I'm very curious. I'd
Oh,
like to
but-
know what this
yeah.
is scheduled. Like, what do you think this is? Is this rated?
Like, who is this for? Is my question.
Exactly.
Because the people that they've chosen to cast, I feel like this was meant to draw in, and it's on Netflix, and it's dark. It's not really meant, I think, for like kids or something like that.
Well, I would
That's,
argue
like,
it's probably
weird.
for kids, but by casting these fanciful adults,
Yeah.
you're gaining any adults now that read these books as kids.
Oh, okay.
And you might just suck
Oh.
randoms in going, Neil Patrick Harris, I love him. Oh, he's going to sing? That's awesome. Love Dr. Horrible. This guy's great. What is this? And then they're all like, "Pfft."
I totally forgot the whole nostalgia angle because I was not aware of these books at all and never read them.
yeah, I
and all
never
that
read
stuff,
them, but
so
I was aware.
that might have been this awesome thing of like, oh, cool, it's Patrick Warburton as Lemony Snicket. I have to
Yeah.
check this out. But my point of the whole thing was then the kids show up and the whole thing grinds to a halt and I hate it or whatever because there's this whole intro now where there's different elements and things happening or whatever with like the adults acting and doing stuff, which is some of it's dumb but some of it was good, and then or whatever.
The to cut a little forward again, the mother, Will Arnett's wife in this,
Yes.
she's the girl I believe from How I Met Your Mother and she's the agent from all the Marvel movies.
Fuck, what's her name?
I forget
Fuck.
her fucking
Her
name.
name is like Strong Face Punch. What's her name? Something. Oh, fuck.
But I'm pretty sure it's her.
Something.
And I'm like, okay, so
like
like
her a
even
lot.
more so, I like the adult cast.
Yeah.
Her name
fuck.
is Robin in How I Met Your Mother, if that helps you.
No, I never watched that show.
It was pretty decent. She's
Didn't
alright.
get into it.
But yeah, I'm wanting once you get the more featured adults, because now you have
I just
the
had it for a second,
secretary's
yeah.
character as she's like a spy or some shit.
I know.
And presumably her partner is now dead.
That was a wild ride, though,
But
too.
you add more adults in, which takes more of the focus off the children and rounds out this show a little more. Because once Will Arnett is more featured, I think it'll be a lot
I
funnier.
wonder, like, maybe, do they just meet up at the end, though, or are they going to meet up earlier?
I think you're going to follow them as they try to break out now and do their thing.
Okay.
I think they're all going to have their own little segments. Probably a 3/4 will still go to the kid, but you'll get
No, this
some
felt
adult time.
this felt like the end of a book or whatever, right? This felt like, or something? Could this all be in the
Are
same book
each
still?
like I don't know how many books there are in this series. Is each episode a book? Is each season a book?
How many books are there?
I have no idea.
Fuck. This felt okay. So like the way this ended had like a finality to it. Like there's some cliffhangers and shit like that.
Sure.
But like in general, this felt like because I made a comment last episode because you were saying like yeah they play up him being an actor or something like that, and I was like oh does it keep being different relatives but it's all Neil Patrick Harris? That's amazing or something like that. I don't know if that's what's gonna happen now if he's gonna like replace the person at the thing or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know because he says we are going to a vigorously set location or whatever, which is how they describe the place that the kids were supposed to end up or something like that. So he's going there, as, either as an actual antagonist, and there really is some other relative that's just part of his like plot or something like that.
Or he's gonna sneak in and kill all the relatives, so it slowly will go to different relatives that he'll kill
Yes.
until it comes back to him.
I don't know what his plan
So
is.
my biggest issue with this shit and why it's so ridiculous and bushy. So I keep using Bushi. If you're not familiar with the Mighty Boosh, check it out. It's a great show and it's
Mighty
super
Boosh.
fantastical. But what was so odd for me here was I'm like, okay, let's say you did get away with all the things and you did marry her and all this craziness. You did like admittedly in front of a crowd say to kill the baby and you're
I
gonna do
know.
these things and I'm like, are there not police officers in this world?
I wrote so like part of that's like it's not Tim Burton. What's his name? It is Tim Burton.
Oh, right.
Is that
I
thing
don't know what
where
you're saying.
is that thing or like the John Waters even where like all the adults are useless
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the world is absurd and all that stuff. But part of it, yeah, I was totally like I like wrote down all this shit where I was why is it even leveraged to threaten to kill the baby? He just said, "I'm gonna marry you and kill your siblings," or something like that. Like there's no real tension here.
And
All
in
you
front
can
of
do,
a whole crowd said, "Yes, I
no, no, no.
tricked you into
Yes.
marrying me."
Totally
it should
agree.
be null and void right there.
But even before that, he like he's like convincing her to like go through with it by
Yeah.
by threatening like the younger sibling, and obviously she want to save all three of them.
Uh-huh.
But at that moment, like in like the same breath almost, like the same scene, like they're outside and he's being a creep or whatever, he basically says, I'm not going to dispose of you like I will your other, like your brother and sister or something like that. So I'm like, he's intending to kill this baby no matter what happens, and why would you trust him? Why would you believe him? This is insane or something
No,
like that.
he's done
So,
nothing
like,
to make me believe anything.
so even if you get all the way up to the wedding, like you'd have to pull something and like not actually do the thing. But then she does, whatever, and then yes, he gets up there and like admits in front of everyone that it's a trap, and then he
Yeah.
says, "Drop the pipsqueak to her death" or whatever. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. I was just like, writing like, how? That's crazy. What?
I loved also that not only can Hookhand McGee talk to the baby, he's playing cards with the baby, and somehow that gets him tied up, the baby loose. I have to do what she said. She wanted cards.
I know. Sorry, she had a royal flush. I had to bring her here. No, that's crazy. And like, in a way, absurd and like whatever the fuck. But the baby was this horrible, like Addams Family 2, like CG baby doing stuff
With
or
the
whatever,
hands.
just throwing the cards and shit. And I'm like, okay, or something like that. As much as I like the idea of this weird, like like she went all in. I had to bring her here, like that dumbness or whatever. Like you're saying, like there's too much around it for it to sit on its own as this like absurd thing or something like that. It's not like I always swallow my handcuff key on Tuesday. Like it's not weird and like from left field enough because it was set up so plottingly.
Yes.
And you're like, I see what's gonna happen now. I never predicted she'd be in a wheelbarrow because you can hold a baby, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a mix of absurd and like just weird, but the weird is more like just like that's the real world kind of stuff, and you're like it's weird because you're following these rules in a world where there seem to be no rules. But
in this absurd world,
Yeah.
why is it? Well, why are you bound by legal things? Can't someone just be like? And he kind of does. The kid is like, "I'm gonna convince you," or whatever the fuck. Oh god, I hated that so much. The left hand, right thing. I wrote down baby playing cards, hate, and then I underlined hate a few times.
it wasn't good.
It was not good.
I have a prediction, at some point in time, maybe even the very ending, the guy with the hook hands is going to come around to their side, and she's going to invent him like robotic hands.
Ooh, that's a very specific prediction that I'm totally behind.
That's my thought. She's going to do that either she'll make them for him and that's what wins him over, or like he does something to help her and she rewards him with those.
Yeah, because he's bonded with the baby already, and like apparently this same troop is gonna be the like consistent people throughout the thing, which I didn't expect.
I
Or
love
guess I
that
should have
big guy
expected.
with the deep voice. He
Yeah.
should be in lots of things.
It's a cool, weird like freak show of people. It's
Yeah.
a good.
Those old
it's a
creepy
g-
twins.
I know.
Super weird.
That's like some like American Horror Story type stuff. That's
Yeah,
this creepy,
it's-
weird like thing going on.
And his
But
like
not creepy
play
enough.
of the handsome man, like
Yes.
it's just a story of a handsome man.
Okay, so like parts of that were
He
like,
sold out this play.
I know, and parts of that were super dumb and good too, where he's a pharaoh and they're dressed like that for no reason or something. I don't know. That's super dumb. It's super.
But I was like, is he playing his own ancestor, or is this him traveling the time and world just being handsome?
I think you're overthinking it.
I am overthinking it.
You're playing a handsome man. It's a very brave choice. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
I loved that. I love that horrible woman. When he gets up, though, and, like, says, I've tricked you, and I've done this, or whatever, Poe does, like, stand up and say, do you think I'm going to let you stay, keep these children? That's ridiculous, and all that other shit, which I liked a lot.
Yes.
He finally, like
But then
snapped
goes,
out of it or whatever.
oh no, you are their guardian, or whatever. I was like,
Does he?
what? He looks defeated.
Isn't that when they, like, escaped? I have no idea.
No.
I just watched it 5 minutes ago.
That was before.
Yeah. That's the like initial reaction.
Yes.
And then he goes on to say, "Aha! But I can marry her because I'm her father,"
Yes.
which makes no sense.
And then he sits back down like, oh no.
And then, like,
the judge is like, you're right. I did bring a real legal document.
and then it's like, I need a blackboard, and then he explains the legal that left hand doesn't matter and all that stuff. I don't know how to feel about any of that. I don't
When
like
she's
any
like,
of that.
I don't know. You're the judge. Say whatever you want.
Maybe just judge the thing you want to happen, and then
Is
say.
that not what judges do?
I mean, they're not supposed to, but they
set
can.
legal precedents by doing the thing they want to do, and then that becomes the way people can do things.
Sure. If I were her, though, I just would have been like, well, he's a monster, and I don't want the kids
There
to
was
be
a
with him.
ridiculous case I just read about on Reddit about a boy who went to jail for like 6 months or something for like forcefully drugging and raping his sister.
Holy shit.
And the judge was like, I think he's gone through enough with the public scrutiny of incest. We don't need to put him away for 10 years. He's a young boy. And I was like, what?
The stigma that will carry
Yes.
him carry throughout his life is enough. What?
And
why did you put on a southern accent? Where did this take
I
place?
assume
did
it
you
was
say?
the South.
Okay.
And
Florida?
like he's like, after all, he did not forcefully remove the girl's clothes. She removed them herself. And I was like she was drugged out of her mind.
Oh dear.
It said that
That's dark.
she repeatedly turned down his advances, saying, "No, you're my brother," until she was so high she did not know he was her brother.
That is one way to do it, as they say.
That's one way to do it. Kept dabbing on her.
That's horrible. I assume this is being appealed. What's happening?
I have no idea. It's horrifying. But then people can like the
If
idea
only
of
it had
what,
happened in a theater, and someone could have
Exactly.
said, "I object."
No, but it makes me sick when I'm
My God.
like people murder people and they don't they go to jail for like 3 months and then some people are like, I got caught with an ounce of crack and they're like, you're in jail for your whole life.
Well, that's your third strike. I'm sorry. Now you are a permanent resident of the jail.
Yeah, it doesn't
like,
make any
oh,
sense.
good.
Laws are not fair, and that's why I'm like, well, maybe it's not as stupid as I thought. He was in a theater.
I don't know.
Left hands don't count.
Imagine a world where that was the case, though, where everyone had to be like, "Wait, are you? No, I am left-handed. Do you have a document? Here, it proves that I'm left-handed. Okay, I have to sign with the left hand."
Ambidextrous.
This
You tricky son of a bitch.
ambidextrous motherfucker.
Hmm.
So, at what point was it literally when he said the play is called The Marvelous Marriage? At what point for you was it clear that he's going to try to marry her for real to get the fortune? Possibly before anything came up.
Slightly before there was ever an inkling of what was supposed to be happening.
Okay.
I like
What
it
was
was.
your-
I forget what telegraphed it, but I was like, well, that's what he's gonna do.
Something happened, and I was like, "Oh, that's clear." And I actually, part of me liked, so like I expect, and it kind of happened anyway, but they kind of went back and forth. Part of me expected no one to know until the actual play, and then to have him go ha ha or whatever. But the kids find out like immediately. His whole
Yeah.
crew was in on it too anyway. Like everything's very clearly not a play, and everyone knows it except for the judge. And
I
other
did not
people
think
or
there'd be
whatever.
anybody in the audience. That was a surprise for me. I'm like, this is like
Oh.
the talk of the town. It's a real theater with a real thing. Like I assumed he's in some like shitbox fake theater that seats like 10
Yes.
folding chairs.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a regal fucking cinema. Like, what-
Because at one point he says that the other kids are gonna play audience members. And I was
Yes.
like, aha! It's literally gonna be a dank closet where they get married or whatever. And that's.
I pictured a church
'cause,
basement or something. Like,
Yeah, because why would you want everyone to know? Like, how weird is that even if it works? You do a play called The Marvelous Marriage, and then you are married though, and you take the document to I presume the exact same bank and say, "Hello, I'm her husband. Give me the money or whatever." And he goes, "Okay, sir." He probably would. Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah.
He would probably do that, but that's still so crazy to me.
it'd be like, Janice, get me the money.
Please get all the money. I need a wheelbarrow. Take the baby out first. Okay, thank you. 7. Anything but 7.
Yeah.
There are some gems that in like
I
in a
laughed
thing
at
that
I
worked.
happen to have an appointment for a haircut right now. I want to hear what this haircut has to say.
Because that's what's so, like, yes, things make me smile or like chuckle, but it's only those things where it goes one like step beyond what's telegraphed.
Yes.
Because his whole like Jessica haircut or whatever, I'm like, oh, the fake name, stupid thing or whatever the fuck. But then to have him be like, what a coincidence, and then like I laughed where like later he says, and I've had to reschedule several haircuts or whatever the fuck. I was like, God damn it, what is going on? And his hair looks
hair's so
it's
short,
so
too.
short. It's so crazy. Now,
Now, like, there are good parts of this show, and I think if this show was a 15-minute show with just the good parts, I'd be like, this show's great.
we can do a super code of that.
But it's not that. And I don't know if it's going to get better, but I do think introducing these more characters and things that are more outlandish and the scenes changing will keep it interesting. And again, it's only 8 episodes, so we got 6 episodes left. It's
Yeah.
not that big of a commitment. I'm totally gonna stick it out and check this shit out till the end. I do like the idea of MPH in more costumes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm not gonna call it a prediction, but like, I feel like since there's 8, there might be 4 basic major like locations or stories or things
Yeah,
that
I
happen,
would wager
and they're
that.
in like the pairs like we just saw. I don't know, and yeah, it'll be more MPH, either I guess dressed up differently, because
Yeah.
he's not dressed up now. He just is an old weird Count Olaf guy.
Yes.
So there's gonna have to be a new costume on top of that costume.
That's what I was picturing being funny, because he already wears a weird fake nose.
Yeah.
So like every costume he wears has to have a
The
fake
same
nose that
fake
maybe
nose.
gets bigger, because if it ever gets smaller, it's like, how the hell did you do that?
If it gets smaller, then he's a warlock of some sort.
But I'm interested. Do you have any predictions or thoughts or any other?
Well, just to wrap up the two little, like, so we talked about the parents array. We talked about Jacqueline's partner Gustav gets hit in the neck with a
A
dart,
feather dart.
and I was like, oh, maybe it's just a sleep dart. Maybe it's not poison.
And it
then
might have been.
and then he falls into a thing and is like, oh, well, he fucking drowned either way. That's great. That's
Yeah,
oh
he's,
shit.
He's probably dead.
They're dead as fuck. That's like an old. That's like, you have to kill me. No, blow up the whole planet. No one can doubt that I'm dead. I have to die, and he's fucking dead. So he was introduced and then whisked away pretty quickly, unless someone's fishing him out as we speak. In the timeline
And it
of the
totally
show.
could happen that. It
Who
could pick
knows?
up right after all the air
Yeah.
bubbles stop and he gets pulled right out. But
So he
Who
was
knows?
so like they're part of some secret organization. She has the telescope that has the same eye symbol, right? So they're
Yes.
all in this like Illuminati thing together or something like
Illuminati.
that. And fucking Gustav was at the location where the kids were supposed to go. Jacqueline was just like checking in, being like, "What's up?" So we're gonna keep seeing her, trying to guide them to like the right place. I don't know why they all can't just stay with them and do it themselves,
Yeah.
or whatever the
that
fuck.
was strange.
Why it has to be this weird? We can't reveal ourselves or something like that. And I want to be like, listen, they're gonna find out that their parents aren't dead, and like they're gonna have to put something together about the secret society of inventors and book people or whatever the fuck they are, inventing book powered people. I don't know what's happening
Do
here.
you think they find out their parents aren't dead in this season?
Oh, Lord, I hope so.
Because I had another prediction before I remembered their parents probably won't die again. I was like, do you think it ends where they are back at the judge's house living there happily as a family?
Yeah, well,
But that would involve the parents actually dying or not coming out of death.
some
this
reason
season.
why they can't.
If there are multiple seasons of this thing, presumably a series of unfortunate events keep happening.
Oh, and someone says this series of unfortunate events has come to an end, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes. No, I don't know. I kind of like what they're doing with that judge. It does make sense, I guess, but I think it's meant to like dangle that and never make good on it.
I
or
just wonder
something.
what is season 2 about? Because
Whoever wrote all
if
these
Count
books wrote more
Olaf
books.
is still the bad guy in the next season, once the parents are alive, well, now what is his plan? I have to kill them somehow. It's like they can just write him out of the will so he can't get it, right?
Is he even in the will? Is he even related to them at all?
He's their uncle, right?
I don't think so.
He's a family member.
Is he? I think he's just a guy.
You think he's just a random guy?
I think so. I don't know.
I don't think he could possibly be a random guy.
I have no idea.
If he is,
oh,
it's really weird.
No, the symbol of the eye is there. So something's going on. He still may not be blood related to them. I don't know.
I'm going to go on record
Man.
saying I think he is indeed blood related, but he's a jerk.
He totally could be.
Can you confirm jerk?
Yeah. Oh no, confirmed jerk. Could be blood related. I don't see why he has to be or like whatever. He's definitely connected to the parents and like connected to this whole thing with the eye thing and all that other business. Because he showed up. What the fuck? Because this episode starts. You didn't bring the costumes, and then he goes in there, has to make an ad hoc costume because I guess
Yeah.
he's heard about them being orphans. But if he doesn't know that the parents are alive, then he didn't set the fire because he would know, or maybe they escaped. But they didn't escape; they were like kidnapped. So he
Yes.
what is going
Well,
on in this
he
show?
couldn't go in dressed as himself and say, I interpret this as their closest living relative.
I know.
Me. So he had to lie then.
Yes.
I still think he's related. I like his map said my house, and he's like, this house is the closest one.
That was some goofy boofy business. I like
Yes.
that too.
Eh.
And then so the book back at the library.
Yeah.
The
The
Klaus, had originally popped out a book that now we see the full title is The Incomplete History of Secret Organizations. Speaking of Illuminati, So she's now going to start thumbing through that and figuring out that symbol maybe.
Did she ever even see the symbol?
It's been in a few places where she might have noticed it, and I would believe the show if it told me that she recognized it from somewhere.
Sure.
She may only see it now that she's read the book and be like, that's the symbol from the book or whatever. But I do expect to keep seeing her and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. All right, so that's the gist of what happens in episode 2 of Lemony Snicket. It's a series of unfortunate events. We'll see what happens next episode. I'm hoping it'll peak up and be a little bit better, more action,
grappling
less,
hook,
craziness.
Molotov cocktails,
Yeah.
basement door.
All right, guys. Until next time, don't die in a fire. See you later.